This is Reuters Today. Coming up, astonishing pictures from Pakistan of the moment police foiled a suspected suicide bomb attack by a 13-year-old boy. We start, though, with Greece. 12 hours of talks through the night once again failed to come up with a solution to the debt problem. Now, Eurozone finance ministers, the IMF and the ECB will have a third go at reaching a consensus in 6 days' time.
I'm a little bit disappointed, but I have to admit that the technical issues are of such a complicated nature and kind that some precise calculations have to be made. This will be done in the next coming days. It was not possible to have these calculations being done in a proper way tonight.
Documents seen by Reuters declare that Greece's debt can't be cut to 120% of GDP by 2020 unless Eurozone member states write off a portion of their loans to Greece, something Germany and others say would be illegal. The document does say debt could reach that target by 2022, but IMF chief Christine Lagarde rejected such an extension last week. The fund's view is now critical.
We made some good work. We're closing the gap, but we're not quite there yet. So it's progress, but we have to do a bit more.
What's left to do?
A bit more work.
Can you find a solution on Monday?
Well, adding to investors' fresh worries over Greece, Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke's comments highlighting the dangers of a US fiscal crisis.
The worst case scenario where the economy goes off the broad fiscal cliff, the largest fiscal cliff, which according to the CBO and to our own analysis would throw the economy into recession. I don't think the Fed has the tools to offset that.
Let's talk with Richard Hunter, head of equities at Hargreaves Lansdown, joins us from the London Stock Exchange. Morning to you, Richard.
Morning.
Greece, the fiscal crisis in the US, the Moody's downgrade of France. I mean, it's really taken the puff out of these markets, hasn't it?
Yes, that's right. I mean, there's no new news there. But, of course, on the basis that there did seem to be some progress being made in terms of Congress and the fiscal cliff, the market did find itself with a good couple of days. But it's very much symptomatic of the current market sentiment that the old worries around the Eurozone shows that investor sentiment remains on a knife edge and the risk-off and risk-on trade continue to alternate. But certainly France and indeed Greece have taken the sheen off what had otherwise been a good couple of days.
Of course, the Glencore Xstrata thing looks like it's a go. Could the sheer size of this kickstart some momentum and get some of this corporate cash flowing in the market?
One would hope so. It's a very large, quite complex deal. The fact that it looks like it's going to get past the post is a very positive thing, because we are, of course, aware that generally speaking, the higher quality blue chips are awash with cash at the moment. It's a question of how to deploy that. Certainly, we've seen increased dividends, share buyback programmes, even paying down of debt. But, of course, the other potential use for this cash, particularly at depressed prices, would be acquisitions. So one would hope that the Glencore deal could presage some more activity.
It would be remiss of me not to ask for your reaction on this HP autonomy story. I mean, this rather astonishing claim suddenly that they'd overpriced this. What do you make of it?
Well, it is absolutely astonishing when nearly $9 billion of the $11 billion deal has already been written down. If you look down the list of the advisors, accountants, lawyers and so on that both parties had, and somehow, if these allegations are true, this has slipped through the net. It's quite an astonishing story, and I'm sure it's got a long way to run yet.
Quick word on Johnson Matthey. Earnings down 6%. Doesn't look great. I mean, there's some bright spots, but it doesn't look great.
No, that's right, and it's something that we've heard time and time again from boardrooms over the third quarter reporting season of late, which is basically it's been a very tough first half of the year, and the outlook is fairly cloudy for the second half as well.
Many thanks, Richard. In Asia, a Reuters exclusive on the backroom power brokers who block pro-reform candidates from joining China's new power structure. Reuters' Lisa Yuriko Thomas joins us now from Singapore. What is supposed to have gone on here, Lisa?
Well, China's retired party leadership still has a very strong hand in today's politics. A Reuters exclusive story says key retired leaders used a last-minute straw poll to block 2 pro-reform candidates from getting onto the standing committee. Instead, the priority was given to seniority, and that goes to explain why we have a committee in which 5 of the 7 members will be retiring after a single 5-year term. And the use of a straw poll doesn't exactly signal a strong desire for political reform.
All right. One other thing I wanted to ask you, Japan economic story and China playing a role in the data that looks somewhat worrying.
Well, the territorial dispute between Japan and China taking a big toll on Japanese exporters. Japan's exports fell for a 5th month in October as shipments to China dropped over 10%. It's yet another sign the economy may be slipping into a recession and puts even more pressure on the government to ease monetary policy. This also brings into focus, just how much longer Japan can actually keep funding its large public debt.
Okay, Lisa, thanks a lot. Oil prices falling back below $110 a barrel as Bernanke's comments and the lack of a deal on Greece raised concern over energy demand. Brent rose earlier as clashes raged between Palestinians and Israelis. US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton held truce talks in Jerusalem late last night ahead of her trip to Cairo today for more talks with Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi. She spoke of a deal in the days ahead, but so far there's no sign that either side are standing down their forces. That is it for now. I'll leave you with more of those incredible images out of Peshawar in Pakistan. The young boy lying on the floor has 8 kilos of explosives strapped to his chest. Officers say the 13-year-old was a suspected suicide bomber who panicked and dropped his detonator. A bomb disposal officer defused the vest before the boy was led away for questioning. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.